Welcome back to Powered by Primus, everybody, and in today's video we're going to be talking more about Wave 2 spoilers. But the first thing we're going to get into is the character cards, and then we will get into the battle cards. So coming in first for our character cards is Thrust. Thrust is a Decepticon. He is a ranged while in his robot mode, has 5 attack, 11 health, and has 1 armor. If you flip over to the other side, the alt mode, it is a plane with ranged as well. You're looking at 3 attack, 11 health, and 3 armor. Thrust does have decent stats. I do like the 5 in bot mode, and I do like the fact that there is another plane. But let's get into the ability while it's in its alt mode. In its alt mode, it says, one of your other character's attacks, you may tap this. If you do, the attacker gets plus attack until end of turn equal to this character's attack total. Now, I think this ability is actually pretty unique, and I'm kind of a fan of it. So the cool part is when you get to attack with one of your other characters, you get to choose to tap this down, and then obviously if you are in your plane mode, which is where you're going to have to be for this ability to trigger, you're going to be able to transfer at least 3 damage over to your other character that's attacking. Now, the disadvantage to this is that it does indeed fact tap this character down, meaning that this character itself won't get to attack. But what if we were to find a way to try to abuse this ability and really give a bonus to that attacker and really not be punished by not attacking with Thrust? Now, one of the biggest ways that I can see abusing this character is using a card such as Grenade Launcher. Now, Grenade Launcher says that after the upgraded character attacks, you have to scrap it and does give 4 attack. The benefit behind this is when you put it on a Thrust and you attack with your other character and then tap Thrust down, you're then going to transfer over the 7 attack to your other character, and technically, since Thrust did not attack, your Grenade Launcher doesn't stay scrapped and indeed does still stay onto Thrust. Now, again, the really cool part about that is going to primarily be ways to break it as far as like stacking weapons is how I believe that this card is going to really shine in its place. Again, using that grenade launcher, if you were to put a grenade launcher onto your Thrust, you could also put a grenade launcher onto the character that is indeed fact attacking. So then they're going to be able to get the 4 damage off of both grenade launchers plus the 3 off Thrust. So they're going to be adding 11 damage to their attack. I think it's going to be really powerful, but that way you're also still getting the benefits from a weapon on a different character rather than having to scrap your own weapon from that character that's attacking. You could do the same thing with Energon Axe if you have Energon Axe on Thrust as well. Then you'd be giving 6 attack to another character and still being able to play an Energon Axe on the character that's attacking as well. So it's going to be really fun to mess around with this card. It does cost 9 stars, so it's going to be iffy as far as making it into a plain deck for myself, especially until we can figure out, what the rest of the battle cards are that are coming out in Wave 2. But I do think this card's going to be fun, and I am excited to give it a try. The next card we have coming in is Acid Storm, and I will tell you that I am extremely excited about this card, and this is exactly the kind of card that I have been waiting for to come out. So let's get into it. So it has ranged in its bot mode, it has 2 attack, 10 health, and 0 armor. It also has a really fancy ability on it that says enemies can't use bold. If you flip over into its alt mode, which is a plane as well, ranged as well, has 3 attack, 10 health, and 0 armor. Now, the ability on the alt mode is one of the biggest reasons why I'm extremely excited for this card and why I've been waiting for it. But it says when you flip to this mode, for each card in your opponent's scrap pile that has at least 2 orange battle icons, you get to repair 1 damage from this. Now, I've been really looking forward to a card like this because it is really considered an anti-aggro card. You're going to be able to have this guy last for a lot longer, and it seems like we're actually going to have even more double orange battle icons coming out in Wave 2, seeing as how we have mounted missiles, we have improvised shields, and we have peace through tyranny. So if you're going up against a heavy aggro player, this is going to be proccing quite often. The next thing I absolutely love about this card is the fact that it is 6 stars, and I already have so many decks that I'm planning on putting this in, especially in my plane build. If you guys watched the previous video where I have Skywarp in there, this character will immediately be replacing Skywarp. The one thing to take into consideration with it being a 6-star as well is that it does have low health and has no armor. So if you are running it in a not heavy blue deck, it is going to be an easier target and an easier thing for your opponent to take down. Especially with its ability being targeted against double orange, this card is definitely primed and ready for a heavy blue deck. The next card we're going to be showing off is Bad Attitude. Bad Attitude is an action. It does have no battle icon, and it says if you begin the game with only Decepticon characters, you get to repair 1 damage from each of your characters and then do 1 damage to each Autobot. I think that this card is going to be really, really good, and I already plan on putting it into my tank deck, which is already a heavy blue list, and is going to be awesome. The one disadvantage to this card and to the next couple that I'm going to be showing off is it really forces you to only play Decepticons and or Autobots. One thing that I do love about this game is the fact that you can play mixed characters on teams, seeing as how you can have Autobots and you can have Decepticons. But I do get the fact that it is canon and you should have Autobots versus Decepticons and so on and so forth. Now, the next part about it is I do want to caution you when it does come to playing this card. It doesn't have a battle icon, meaning if you flip it on attack or defense, it provides nothing for you. In addition to that, if your opponent isn't running Autobots, then you're not getting any damage done to any of their characters. However, you do still get to repair 1 damage from each of your characters, so it's not a completely dead card no matter what. But, again, you're not going to be able to get that extra damage on your opponent, and it's not flipping for any additional damage or giving you any armor. So I would caution again playing it. Maybe this will be a 2 of in some decks, and it might even be a 1 of in some decks. These 2 next cards we're going to be showing off are also tailored to playing on very specific characters. The first one we're going to talk about is Noble's Blaster. It is a blue battle icon and a green battle icon. If you don't know about green battle icons, I'd say to go back and watch our reveal for Wave 2. We do talk more in depth about it. But it is an upgrade, it is a weapon, and says put on Autobots only. Now the benefit behind this is you can still play this in a mixed team, but it does require you to put on an Autobot. It says while the upgraded character is attacking a Decepticon, it has Pierce 2. It does also give the upgraded character +2 attack. And the other card is going to be Scoundrel's Blaster, which is the exact opposite of Noble's Blaster. Again, it has a blue battle icon and a green battle icon. It is an upgrade weapon. You can only put it on Decepticons, and says while the upgraded character is attacking an Autobot, it gains Pierce 2. It also gives +2 attack. Now, I think both these cards are really fun. I think that they're going to be in a lot of stuff. The fact that it is a blue battle icon and a weapon is really good. I like to see those. It allows access to heavy blue decks to still be able to put out damage. And the fact that it gives you Pierce 2 if you're attacking that other character is a benefit in itself. But it doesn't really have that much of a downside as well. Even if your opponent doesn't have an Autobot or Decepticon while you're attacking into it, it will still be getting the +2 attack, which is really, really nice. The next card we're going to be showing off is tailored to a specific team as well, and that is Confidence. Confidence does have an orange battle icon. It is an action card, and it says you get to draw 2 cards, then scrap 2 cards from your hand. If you began the game with only Autobot characters, you may play an action. I think this card is going to be a whole lot of fun. Now, the one thing to note is that you still get to draw 2 cards and scrap 2 cards from your hand, even if you are running a mixed team or even all Decepticons. It just says if you are playing with all Autobot characters and began the game with all Autobot characters, that you get to play an action. Meaning if you haven't played an action for the turn, even if you have played an action for the turn, this allows you 1 more action. Again, you can even play another Confidence, and you can really start to chain a lot of cards, which will be a whole lot of fun. The next card we're going to talk about is Swindled, which is the Decepticon version of Confidence. This is an orange battle icon. It's an action as well. It says draw 2 cards and then scrap 2 cards from your hand. It has the same ability as Confidence. The difference is here it says if you began the game with only Decepticon characters, you may play an upgrade. So even if you've played an upgrade for the turn, or if you haven't yet played an upgrade for the turn, this will just allow you to play 1 additional one for the turn. I think this card is going to be pretty awesome. There's a few decks that I'm looking forward to putting it into. However, I will admit that I'm sad that one of these cards, either Confidence or Swindled, isn't a blue battle icon card. They are both orange, so that one was a little on the low side for me, but I do think that they are both great cards, and I feel like they're both going to get quite a bit of play. The next card is called Erratic Lightning. It is an orange battle icon. It is an upgrade weapon and does have a new card text. And it says a character's armor can't go below 0. It does give you +3 attack, and then here is the caveat. It gives you -1 armor. So it is a great card if you're really going in on that all-out attack, but one thing to note is that when it comes to your opponent attacking you, you now have -1 armor. However, if you do have 0 armor, you just remain at 0 armor since you can't go below 0. I think this card is actually really good, and I think it's going to see a lot of play in a lot of different decks, especially how you lose just a little bit from Grenade Launcher in losing 1 attack, and yes, you lose 1 armor, but this gets to stick around. The next card I want to talk about is a blue battle icon card, and I'm very excited, seeing as how we haven't had very many blue battle icon cards spoiled. But this one is called Evasive Maneuvers. Again, it's a blue battle icon. It is an upgrade armor, and it gives the upgraded character Tough 3, which means you flip 3 more cards when defending. I'm super excited. They finally have something that goes past that Tough 2. However, it says after the upgraded character defends, you will scrap this card. Now, I'm not a huge fan of having to scrap this card, but there are tons of ways to be able to cycle armor from your scrap pile to your hand again. You can do things such as Jetfire, you can even go with cards such as Hunker Down to get them back out and onto your character. The next card was spoiled by Wreck and Rule, another YouTube channel, which I think has some great content. You guys should definitely check it out. I will link their channel in the description below. But the card is Decepticon Crown. It is a white battle icon and a green battle icon. It is an upgrade utility, and it says put on Decepticons only. When one of your Decepticons attacks, you get to plan 1. This says you may put 1 card from your hand on top of your deck. This is going to have lots of real fun things to do, especially how like cards such as Incoming Transmission and Datapad allow you to do some fun stuff at the top of your deck as well. The cool part about this is that you'll be able to stack those cards as well, such as a double orange battle icon, or if you're trying to get a card out of your hand, or even putting a white on top to allow yourself to flip 2 more cards when you do indeed fact attack. And the last card we're going to talk about was spoiled over at Wasi Plays, a fellow YouTuber. Great content again. I will put that channel down in the description as well. But this card is Vandalize, and I will tell you that this card, before we get into anything, I think is going to be real good. Now, the benefit behind this card is that it does cost 1 star. If you don't know about those stars, it counts towards your team's total, so you can't have over 25 stars total amongst your team and your deck. It is an orange battle icon card. It is an action. It says scrap all enemy weapons, armors, or utilities. Now, you do have to pick what you want to scrap. You can't just scrap everything they have. You do have to choose weapons, armors, or utilities to scrap. But even if your opponent has 5 weapons amongst their characters, it scraps all of their weapons. You don't just choose a character and scrap the weapons from that character. You scrap all the options that you choose. I think this card is going to see an absolutely crazy amount of play. It's really good because it goes into orange battle icon decks, so you're planning on attacking, and what this is going to allow you to do is to really slow down your opponent. You're going to be able to control a huge part of the game and a big pace of it. If you're going up against a heavy blue deck, which would be one of the worst things for an all-orange deck to do, you get to destroy all their armors. Or if they have a very specific weapon that's really giving you a lot of trouble, such as Grenade Launcher, Energon Axe, or a couple of other the new ones that have been spoiled, you're going to be able to scrap any of those weapons, so you don't have to worry about a crackback from your opponent. Also, if they have something crazy like a Datapad and they're doing some really cool setups with the top of their deck, or even the Decepticon Crown that we just showed, you're going to be able to blow up those utilities as well. The one thing that is going to hold this card back from being able to throw it into every single deck is that it is a star card. Again, we just talked about it a second ago, is that your star total cannot exceed over 25. So if you are pushing that max 25, then you'll know that you can't fit this card into your deck. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about when it came to these star cards is as far as if you are playing against an opponent and you do look at their star total amongst their characters and see that they have 25, you know that you don't have to worry about any of these cards specifically, so you can essentially play around it. Now, if your opponent is running 22 stars or 23 stars, then you can know that your opponent might have a couple of these star cards in their deck and that you should always be wary about what they have. And there you go, guys. We wanted just to give you guys a quick update about some more cards that have been spoiled. We will definitely be talking about more as they do come out. I don't like to do videos on just one card at a time, so if that is something you're looking for, we're not going to be handling that. I like to review a bunch at the same time, get more in depth with those cards, and really talk about ways to maximize those cards. If you guys did enjoy this video, a like would be greatly appreciated as it shows us your guys' support. If you are new to the channel, subscribe for more, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.